Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my January wrap-up part 1 and this is the last one of the part 1 wrap-ups because as of February, like I said in previous videos, I'm going to be doing weekly wrap-ups. They're going to be coming up on Fridays. My brain is Google-eyed. So what my weeks will be going forward in February is that I'll be filming on a Thursday. So the weeks will go Thursday to Thursday, basically. You kind of count, like they'll start my reading that I will be reading with Thursday to Wednesday almost. I think that makes more sense. Thursday to Wednesday. And I will be showing you, rather like, the way I've been doing my mid-month wrap-ups is I've been showing you the books I've been adding to my TBR. But by doing the weekly wrap-ups, I won't be doing it that way. So what I will be doing is, I will just, apart from my set TBR that I will set in normal, that will keep going as normal, I will then be just mood reading, which I think is going to work better for me. The way I've been feeling, it's just going to work better. Now, in these weekly catch-ups, I think I've said that I will be including some gratitude bits, I'll be including some lifestyle bits, so I'm going to be doing, I have got an extra video coming up because I've got a readathon announcement coming up in February. And I might have to, and I'll obviously have to do a TBR for that readathon. So there's going to be 2 extra ones. So there's me going, oh, I'll take down my stress, and I've kind of got that. But those will be shorter videos, and that I think is going to work better for me. So you'll be getting the first weekly catch up on the 7th of February, and then it'll be every Friday after that. And like I said, you'll get what I've read, what I'm currently reading, and what has been happening that week. A little bit of lifestyle, a little bit of what I'm grateful for. Not too much details because I'm starting to, like I said, just take a bit of care. Still going to be grateful. There will at least be one thing that I'm grateful for. And if I can, I'll be adding pictures at the ends like I do on my gratitude journal. So it's kind of mixing things in, but I want to try and keep it as least stressful as I can. But today's video is the last one that's like set. Oh, and you'll also be getting an extra video the first Wednesday of every month where I can give you the stats, because that's going to work on that. So it looks like I'm doing more videos, so I'll be doing kind of in some ways more videos, but they will be shorter, because this one it looks like it's going to be longer. The fact that it's like nearly 3 minutes on just catching up with you guys tells you something. So I've got 4 books that are currently on the go. I'm filming this on the Wednesday the 15th, kind of similar to what I'll be doing. And then I've got the rest of the books, and I've got 7 books that I'm adding to my TBR. I don't know if you never know, I might end up showing you books that if I've got ones that I like, specifically ones that I want to show you. But when I'm doing weekly wrap-ups, you're going to be seeing them as I'm reading them, which is going to be fun. Right, stop rambling, let's get on. And actually, I've just remembered I've got to start thinking about the emoji for the end of this video. Okay, so the book that I've been reading all month, but it will be finishing, because I was planning to read this slowly over the whole month, which is Sons and Lovers by D.H. Lawrence. But I'm going to be finishing this on Saturday, I think. Might not be next Monday, it depends on how I do, whether I film tomorrow. But I didn't like Lady Chatterley's Lover, but I'm actually finding this better. It's not amazing, but it's better. And I've just remembered, typical, I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, so sorry if I sound a bit croaky. But anyway, been reading this. It's better than I thought it was going to be. It's about the whole Oedipal bond between Paul Morell and his mother, and like different women, chaste Miriam and provocative Clara. And it's about families and things like that. But it's a bit of a weird one. It's not one that like I dread to pick up, and it's actually quite easy to read, like a chapter at a time. That's how I'm reading it, because they're quite long chapters. It's strange, it's really weird. It's not like a classic that I'm hating. I'm not getting lost. It's easy to follow. Kind of actually makes me wonder if I might want to pick up more of D.H. Lawrence's books, like The Rainbow. Let me know if anyone knows, because I didn't like Lady Chatterley's Lover, but this is weird, but it's not one I'm going to keep. But it's not bad either. It's not a bad classic. So yeah. Then one I started yesterday that hasn't been on any TBR, but it was one that, like, because I've got set books that I want to save from my TBR, and I didn't know what I wanted to read yesterday. But this is a foster caring book by Casey Watson. She's a real life foster carer, and it's Runaway Girl. and it's basically about Adriana, who is 14, and she's arrives like to this foster carers with she's not telling them what's happened. She's from a different country. She's from Poland, I think, and it's just very like running away, and it's just quite a good book. But I only started it yesterday, but I already got like 68 pages through quite quickly, so I'm aiming to finish this today, all being well, because like I've got quite a lot to do. But yeah, that'll be my aim. I'm buddy reading with Chatty, the Mad Chatter, the Mercies. I do need to get in contact with her because I've got a bit quiet this week. And last time I read this, I listened to it on audiobook, and this time obviously reading a physical copy. It's Kira Targry's like adult book, so she's got a lot of children and middle grade and YA books. And this is about sort of set in winter in 1617, about a storm that comes in and figures out. Everyone knows about this book. It is very emotional, very almost like soul destroying in the fact that what happened there, and there was a very bad guy who's like coming in, and Varna is the place of women. It's about women's strength together, and it's a fantastic book. Love buddy reading it with Chatty, but I have got a bit quiet, so that is good. And then I only started this, I think I started it very late Tuesday night, but I'm already nearly halfway through, and this is taking longer to read because it's like 500 odd pages, 560 pages, and it's Watermelon by Marion Keyes, and it's the first in the Walsh Girl series. Now, I read Rachel Again, which is like one of the later ones in the series. I listened to it on audiobook. So kind of reading from the very start, and you know what's kind of happening to these characters later on a little bit, but I haven't read that one in so long, so it feels really weird. But you're going back to the first child, the eldest of the Walsh girls, Claire, and her husband literally tells her, excuse me, on the day she gives birth to their daughter, that she's leaving him, that he's leaving her because he's had an affair with his other woman. And she decides, that's it, I'm going to ship off and go back home to my mum and dad. And their family dynamics is really funny, and I'm really enjoying it, even though it's like mahoosive. I just don't want to put it down every night. Like, it is such a good book. It's Marion Keyes. Like, I've read quite a few of her books already. I think I've read The Break. I've read... What have I read? I think I've read Angels. No, I haven't read Angels. Angels is part of this series, isn't it? I don't know which ones I've read. I have read some of these books. I think I read The Break, and I've certainly read another one, but for the life of me, I cannot remember which one it is. But this is the start of the Walsh Girl series. I plan to read it over the course of the year, every other month, and I bloody love it. It's really good fun, really easy to read, and yeah, I'm just flying through it. So as soon as I finish that, so depending on what time I get today, depending on how I'll do with it all, I have my set order of reading them. So I know it sounds silly, I like to read them at different times. But after I film this, I've got to go to the bottle bag, I've got to go and do some cleaning, I've got to do a workout, I feel like full of rubbish. What is it going to be like? So I've only read 1 3-star book so far this month. I've read 6 4 stars, 2 4.5 and 3 5. So that's good. It's like, I don't have an amazing amount of 5 stars like I did in December, but 4 stars is good. I've got to remember, 4 stars is what I call, 4 stars is like my good books. Anything less than 4 stars isn't as good, but we discussed this on my rating thing. 4 stars is a good book, one I've really enjoyed, one I didn't want to put down. But the first one is a 3-star, and this is Ninth Child by Sally Magnuson. Now, Charlie bought me this for Christmas last year, and it is good. It's very, very short chapters. I know Katie from Books and Things like Sally Magnuson's writing. It's set in Lake Loch-Katrine waterworks in 1856, a Highland wilderness fast becoming an industrial wasteland. No place for a lady. It's got a bit of magical realism in it, which is a bit weird. Bit of a twist. It's just very dark and very weird, and it's a weird book, but like not amazing, but not bad. It wasn't like, didn't blow my mind. It read it so quickly because it's such short chapters, which I always find short chapters mean I just fly through it. But yeah, quite a good fun book. I won't be adverse to buying Sally Magnuson again, but I won't rush to her books. That is a charity shop. Now to the first of my 4 stars, and these are all good. These are really good. I really enjoyed them. The first is The Little Village Library by Helen Rolfe, and this is good, cosy. I like this author's works, and it's all about the library of shared things, and so it's not a book library, which I thought it was, but it's about a village, it's about community, and about siblings and family and their dynamics, but it does have some twists. There are some triggers in this, so please, if you want to know the triggers, ask me. I never like telling you them. But it's a good book. Good community book, good family book. I don't need to go into too much detail. It is just a good book. But yeah, there are some triggers, so you need to be warned of that. So I will let that one be on Borrow Mum. Then the TBR jar did good. Yes! Yes, the TBR jar did good. What might have been by Holly Miller. 1 love little choice, 2 big love stories. Sliding doors again. You've got the things that could have, after one night, one moment can change everything. For Lucy, it happens just after she's walked out of her job, uncertain what the future will hold. And the same night, she finds herself flirting with a handsome stranger at the bar, before unexpectedly running into the man who broke her heart 10 years ago. And then, basically, the 2 timelines are, does she go back with her ex, the one that broke her heart, or does she go with this new bloke? And those are 2 sliding doors timelines that work alongside each other. You don't really see much crossover. You do wonder how it's all going to work, if the 2 will work together at the end. It's a really good book. Really, really interesting. Really liked it. Sliding doors thing. Good fun. I said to Chatty that I'm not going to be talking too much about the books. They're kind of average. But here we go. I am so sorry about this. Right, the next one is Call the Midwife, a book by the author of Call the Midwife, and it's got loads of short story in it. Toffee, apples and quail feathers. Can't remember if Mum's read this series, so I will check with her. Basically, it's short stories connected to the Call the Midwife story. Helen Worth, the author of this, died in the early 2000s, but her daughters found some of the short stories that she left that didn't get published, and some of these. And you go over a bit more short stories, some published, some not published, some that you've seen in the other books, some that you haven't. Bit more about, it's mainly about Fred, who's their odd job man. There's quite a lot of stories about him. There's some stories about Chummy, who was in the earlier series, and some about Sister Monica Joan. But thoroughly enjoyed this, really good. Actually, I need to check because I need to check them all. Then to one of my library books, one of the library books you'll see that I've read. One that I'm reading in the second half, but you won't see it in the second wrap-up because obviously I would have returned it by then. And this is Wild Things by Laura Kay. It's an LGBTQI romance about friends to lovers, that kind of twist. Is it going to be a friends to lovers? Is it going to happen? Community, friendships, all going into a shared house. Really good, fun, contemporary. Blooming enjoyed it. So glad I read it. It was just the laugh I needed. But that is going to the library. Then I think Mum will like this. This is another one that Charlie bought me. And this is the Polar Bears Explorers Club by Alex Bell. It's the start of a series. I don't think I'm going to carry on with the series because it is a little bit too middle grade for me. If I see the rest of the series, I won't read them, but it's not a series I need to keep. So, yes. It's about the Polar Bears Explorers Club. Middle grade, fantasy, really good fun, really adventurous. You've got Shay Silverton Kipling, who's the captain's son and a wolf whisperer. Ethan Edward Rook, magician and ocean explorer. Beanie, half-elf, medic, and well, you have to meet Beanie. Beanie's brilliant. And Stella Starflake Pearl, who's an orphan and the most determined of all. She's the main lead character in this. And they go on an expedition, and it's fun. I think there is some disability rep in this. There is a character in this who is not this way neurodivergent. I need to be very careful. We have a neurodivergent character. It's not openly said as neurodivergent, but you can tell. You can blatantly tell. And it's really good fantasy. Really enjoyed it. Thoroughly loved it. Go for it. If you want to meet a good, and it does portray the neurodivergent character so well. I love it. I really enjoyed it. Very good fun. Then to one of Taylor Jenkins Reid's earlier books, After I Do. And again, it's about a couple who have been together a very long time. They just fighting, and it just goes their story about how they got together, they fight, and they decide to be apart for a year, and how that goes, and whether they get back together, and all of that caboodle. Very good book. Not one for Mum, that's a charity shop one, but glad I read it. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's work, but it's a modern day contemporary, so. Now to the last of the 4 stars. So I was meant to do a live to talk about the last 2 books in the Agatha Christie series in January, and I've been poorly on and off, and things haven't happened. I am going to reach out, and I will do one at the start of February, whether I do it on my own or whether I find someone to help me. Please, someone help me. Please, someone do it with me. I know Jack was going to do it with me at the start of January, but she's been busy and not been 100%, and I've not been 100%. So I will, at the start of February, talk about 3 books. And it might be that I go down the route of going every 3 months, because I've not had it in me this month. I really haven't been well enough and been too busy. So, but yes, start of February, end of January, I will bloody do a live for this. And this one I enjoyed. Like last month's one, it was 3 stars. Didn't enjoy it as much. It was I think it was Agatha Christie's first Marple one, and it wasn't as good. This one I did really enjoy. It was 4 stars. Alice rated it 3, but I think she did enjoy it. I know Bella loved it, and it's the first one of Marple's earlier books. Whereas I loved A Murder Is Announced by Marple. This you could tell she was definitely growing, and it's really good fun. And I didn't guess the killer, which is always good, but I'm a bit daft at that. Really good book. It's about like the Bantries, when they wake up from their body. When they wake up that day, they find the body of a beautiful young stranger in their library. And the owner of the house, Dolly Bantry, knows that there's only one person that will catch the killer, and that's Miss Marple. Brilliant murder mystery. We'll get off my backside, so I'm keeping that one. And then we've got 2 4.5 stars. One was a library I've given back, and that was The House of the Witch. And I think it's by Claire Marchant. 2 timelines, past, present, really good. Bit about a witch, and yeah, it's about the witch hunt and things like that happened at the time. But it was bloody good. Very, very good. Really, really enjoyed it. And I'm really using my hands now. I'm sorry about this. I'm just... Then to my 4.5 stars. And this is The Burnout by Sophie Kinsella. And I hope Mum's going to like this, because I really enjoyed it. She's been a bit hit and miss, but this one was smashed it. And I read it because it was literally just when the kids went back to school, because boy do I feel the burnout. As you can tell, I am burnt out. But it's a different kind of burnout, because it's post-Christmas burnout with me. But this lady literally is worked up her arse. She's worked, consumed by her job, and literally she's had a breakdown. Not officially breakdown, but you know, she literally crashes. And she decides to go back to a Devon resort which she loved as a child. It was the last place she went on holiday with her dad, and it's off season, the hotel's falling apart, and she's there to like re-cleanse, and then she meets this guy Finn, who is grumpy and stressed out, and he's crashed. The 2 crash outs, and what happens, and it's bloody good, but really, really enjoyed it. I might even keep this, I'm really not sure. I really, really enjoyed that. There's my 3 5 stars, and one's a reread. I've got a favourite, but they're all smashing. They all literally deserve everything. The first one was my reread, and look how chunky this is. This is Forging Silver in Stars by Bridget Kemner, and you know I love her books. She is an all-time favourite fantasy author. She was the one that got me into fantasy. This was a reread. It's the first in the series of... This is like connected to the Cursebreaker series, but it's the first in a new series. The second one is coming out in the end of the month. I've pre-ordered it, I'm getting it, and I'm reading it in March, my birthday month. And it's about an ancient magic. I can't really go into too much detail because it does connect to the Cursebreakers. If you've not read the Cursebreakers, you can't read this. You need to read the Cursebreaker series before you read this. It's got disability rep, it's got LGBTQI romance, it's got fun, it's got adventure, it's got excitement. Flipping bad tabby doozy. Loved it. Right, I will stop being snotty nose. I thought I was feeling better today, but maybe not. Then actually no, I'll change mine. Then to the third and final book in this series, The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling. I was buddy reading this with Kat from Brews and Reviews. My only catch with this is that it's a little bit shorter than it could have been. It could have extended a bit more at the end. But I thoroughly loved it. Again, I can't go into because it's third series. But it's about Bowen Penhallow, who is the brother of the other two lead characters in the other two books. And then you've got Tasmin Bly, who we met in, I think it's the first book. She's not a witch. Bowen is a witch. Or a wizard, you know, that kind of thing. And it's sexy romance, fantasy witchiness, and it's bloody good, and I thoroughly loved it, and it was just what I needed. It was sugar candy, it was brilliant, and I loved it. But again, standard series, can't talk too much. But they go back to the past and see how the past affects the future, and I really enjoyed it. And then it's the last book, and it was the biggest book that I've read of the month, but I read it quite quickly. It is 660 pages, which is why I probably read less this month than I normally would have by now, but I'm not stressing about the numbers. And it's the first in the Tea Rose series, and it was very, very, very good. Historical fiction, multi-generational. I think it's like multi-generational. It's got like family, and something bad happens to Fiona Figan at the start of this. Like, she's a dock worker, and then her father suddenly dies, and then there's a disappearance of her childhood love, and her family falls apart, and things all happen, and she gets shipped off to New York. She decides to run away to New York, and yeah, all of what happens. And Jack got me this, and I now really do want to continue the series. Jack says this is the best one in the series, but I still kind of want to continue it. I'm actually going to keep this. But yeah, this was just amazing. It was just historical fiction at its best. Thoroughly loved it. Flew through it even with the big size of it. And I literally screamed at Thomas to put himself to bed because I wanted to read. Bad mom alert. But yeah. Now to the books that I'm adding to TBR. So, right. First one is The Hidden Years by Rachel Corey. I love her books. Yes, this probably should be a summer book, but I want to read it now. I haven't had it on the shelves long. It's one of her newer books, but I want to read it. So I'm going to read it. Two women's stories collide in the tales of secrets, loss and betrayal. Set in 1966, and Belle Johnson abandons her studies to follow her new boyfriend Gray to the Silverwood house of an artistic community in the South Cornish coast. Why does the name Silverwood sound so familiar? And who is Imogen Lockhart, the young nurse who arrived at that very house in 1939 after the outbreak of war? Oh my god. As the summer months unfold, Belle begins to learn the truth and some hidden secrets. So it's set in the summer, not at all wintry, but I don't care. Why not? I want to read it. That's what I've got to do. Read what I want to read. Don't worry about what month. I do like reading seasonally. It looks perfect, so I'll read it. Then to a translated fiction. Now I know Jack and Roz is doing a historical, like a translated fiction readathon thingy this year. I know they've got specific books, but I wanted to read a translated. I know Jack's doing the middle grade translated fiction books, but I wanted to read a middle grade one. I wanted to read a contemporary one, and this is by Frederick Buckman, who I love. I loved The Man Called Ove. I've not read any of his other books, but this one, quite short. It's been on my shelves a little bit. And I just know it's kind of what I need and what I felt like I wanted. At first sight, Britt Marie is fussy, passive-aggressive busybody. But hidden inside her is a woman who has bigger dreams and a warmer heart than anyone around her imagines. And when she finds herself alone for the first time in decades, she realises she spent her whole life making choices for the sake of other people. Is it too late to change? It just sounds brilliant. Then this is my other reread, but I think I read Charlie's copy or I listened to it on audiobook. I listened to an audiobook. And The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. It won awards a while ago. I listened to it on audiobook and I liked it, but I had found this physical copy. And I wanted to read the physical copy. So this is kind of a reread about Stella and Desiree, who are identical twins growing up together in a small southern black community until at the age of 16 they run away. Years later, everything about their lives is different. Their families, communities and racial identities. Really looking forward to trying this. Can't remember it at all, so should be a good reread. Then to a book in a series. Again, I've not had this one very long because it's early on in the series. Lockhart Lane series. But again, I wanted to read one of the earlier ones. I wanted to read the earliest one. It's what I feel like, and with the way that sky looks, and I just feel like I wanted to read it now. And it's about when her grandfather Marley passed away, Grace Power discovers she's inherited Hartcross Castle. It's early in the series. I've not read this one, and I've not read much before that, so it will be interesting. She's a single mother of 3, and Grace has no idea what's going on and how to put a family over their head. It's about forever home. Hartcross Castle is full of secrets, especially a security deposit box that holds the truth to everything. Really looking forward to that. My next library book is The Streets by Lauren Golding. I read Nightingale Point by this author and Homecoming, and I really enjoyed those books. Not enjoyed, they're bloody hard hitting. But I wanted to read this. It was on my Amazon wish list, and I thought, actually, let's just read it. And amidst the hustle and bustle of East London, these people are trying to hold on to hope in an ever-changing world. You've got Jess, who is a single mother to 2 teenagers. Her energy goes into them. You've got Hazel, who is Oxbridge bound and is ready to fly the nest, but she's tired of being treated like a child, and she can't tell her mum Jess the truth. And Ben has recently moved back to East London with his faithful dog Harold for company, but when he meets Jess, he realises they've crossed paths before. That's what this like. Then I've got a historical fiction book that's been on my shelves for ages. This is Tangerine by Christine Mangan. I really don't know what to make of this. I've nearly put it on my TBR so many times. So this is basically, I'm going to put it on my TBR. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. And it's about the last person Alice Shipley expects to see when she arrives at Tangier with her new husband was Lucy Mason. After a horrific accident in Bennington, the two friends once were inseparable roommates, haven't spoken to each other in over a year. But Lucy is standing right there trying to make things right. Set in Morocco, don't know too much, let's see how it goes. Then last but not least, I need a short fantasy, and this is Catto Saved Books by another translation fiction. And it's a short book. This was given to me by the lovely Angela for reading off my shelves. It's only 200 pages. It's pretty. And it's got the word cat and it's got the word books in it. I don't want any more than that. Now, Zach Cube Books. It was a tiny second-hand bookshop on the edge of town. Inside, towering shelves reach the ceiling, and every one of them is crammed with wonderful books. Renito Catto, whatever, I can't say the name, loved the space that his grandfather was created. He spent many happy hours there reading what he liked. This is the perfect refuge for a boy who tended to be something of a recluse. After his death of his grandfather, and he is devastated and alone, and it seems like he will have to close the shop. Then a talking tabby cat called Tiger approaches and asks Renito for help. The cat needs to find a book lover to join him on a mission. The odd couple go on 3 magical adventures to save books. I can't wait. This will be read when I need it. So right now it won't take very long. So that's a long video. This is why I don't want to do videos like this. It's half an hour long. I do not want to do it. If you got to the end of this video though, and you enjoyed it, and if you got to the end of the video, leave a teacup emoji, because for the tea rose, and the fact is I'm going to go grab a cup of decaf tea soon. I'm surviving when I feel full of cold. So if you got to the end of the video, give me a teacup emoji. Let me know what you've been reading this month. And just chat to me in the comments. I love chatting to you guys in the comments. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Oh, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, lots of ring on my ding-a-ling. Bye-bye.